Hey parents, thank you so much for joining us tonight for a very special, very unique Fuel 910 where we get to gather for the first time this summer in person. And I know this is a tricky season to walk through both with family, with the current pandemic crisis around us, and then also a really tense racial climate that we find ourselves in the United States of America and really globally right now. And we just want to thank you specifically from the bottom of our hearts. I speak on behalf of our 910 staff and North Coast Church for being a part of this community and being a part of this crew. And for tonight, as you guys either stick around here in the parking lots if you're a freshman parent between 7 and 7:45, or for you sophomore parents from 8:15 to 9, we just wanted to provide you with a little bit of combination of time killers, also some content, allow you to kind of catch up on maybe some of the things you missed in this last week. Or if you'd prefer right now, you can just kind of pause this video, turn the radio all the way down and just enjoy 45 minutes of silence, or your screaming baby that's in the back, or your younger sibling that happened to come along with you to church for this season. But again, we just want to thank you so much for being here tonight, for dropping off your 9th grader, your 10th grader, and for picking them up in a timely manner, as we're really trying to pull off 2 separate youth groups to keep that number under 100 like the CDC has asked us to do. We've put together kind of a 14-page document, and our staff is familiar with it. JD Larson, our campus pastor, Chris Brown, senior pastor of North Coast Church, we've all kind of combed through this thing and said, how do we best serve 9th and 10th graders in this season? And we're able to pull off an in-person youth group tonight because of this 14-page document and an amazing group of staff and interns and volunteer leaders and leadership students that say we're willing to do it and gather in person if we can figure it out CDC-wise. And man, in any bigger, even this first event, as we have about 65, 70 at the freshman group and about 80, 85 at the sophomore group, we're really already reaching that point where we're not going to be able to pull these things off if we have to do 3 or 4 services. And so we're going to try a couple times this summer and say, man, can we 2 or 3 times pull off some in-person events and treat them as our summer house parties? And there's so much we wanted to do this summer, from our summer camp to our sophomore retreat to, actual summer house parties in the Fuel 910 room and beach hangouts that have just been limited because of the pandemic. And so as we tonight try something new, thanks for your grace, thanks for your patience with us and your flexibility as we really want to serve you as a family as best as we possibly can. And so on our website, fuel910.com, where you found this video, there's going to be a little link on the top that just says, hey, parents. And on there for tonight, I've just put together a handful of links. And those links, the first thing you'll see on there is some North Coast Church resources. And so this last weekend was Father's Day. If you missed the weekend service, this might be a great opportunity for you to sit in the car and catch up on the weekend service. I've also attached in there a few things that we're doing with 910, like our summer blog, and then also a really cool thing that the Jordan Young Adults program that my wife and I are involved with, they've been putting out for the last 2 weeks. It's called How to Be a Digital Christian, and that's linked in there. It's through their Instagram on their IGTV channel, and they're just 9-10-minute videos that are really worth watching. I've also linked in there a couple of really good conversations surrounding the racial tension that we find ourselves in right now. One's by Chris Brown this last week. The other one is by Andy Stanley. That's just this 27-minute podcast that's well worth your time, well worth a listen as we engage in this conversation and desire to be learners in it. And then the last one on there, I just put on sports. And if you're sitting there just wanting to catch up on some ESPN and you went, wait, sports are back? Not exactly, but I put a link on there for a ESPN article about the MLB if you're a baseball fan, and then also a link to all of the Last Dances. And so if you've heard all about this Michael Jordan documentary series, but you haven't got a chance to watch it, this might be your time to kill some time in the car. 45 minutes, we're really asking that drop-off and that pickup happen precisely as we're trying to turn it over for our sophomore crew, and then really allow our leaders and our staff and our interns to go home, hopefully close to 9 p.m. And so we love you guys so much as a community. We love you as a church, and we're so stoked that we get to pull off a unique opportunity. And so stay tuned. If tonight goes well and we're able to figure out the CDC guidelines, it's hopefully going to allow allow us to move forward and pull off a few more events like this, or maybe even a worship night or a guys event or a girls event within those CDC guidelines. And again, what our hope is and our desire is for Fuel 910 is that within the next couple of weeks, hopefully, that we're allowed to meet in homes, even if it's groups of 10 or 12 without those CDC guidelines. That allows us to put out content to our community, but not have to police 10, 15, 20 homes and make sure that everybody's in masks and 6 feet apart. And so we're willing to do that as a community of people a couple times this summer as a group. But when it comes to homes, that's really, really difficult to do. And so we're hoping that opens up here soon, and that'll allow us to meet in a very different capacity. But again, we love you guys a lot. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us as a 910 community if there's anything we can do to support you or your family. We want to be the church in this season. And so, yeah, we love you. Again, thanks for catching us tonight, and we'll see you next time.